Hello students, we'll see the next topic under the consideration, that is the privity of contract or stranger to the contract cannot sue. Okay. First we'll see the meaning of privity of contract or stranger to the contract. Okay. Under Indian law, on English law, stranger to a contract, one who is not a party to the contract. Stranger to the contract is nothing but the person who is not a party to a contract cannot sue on the contract. He cannot sue on the contract. Okay, but under the Indian law and English law, stranger to a contract, the person is not party to a contract, he cannot sue. If A and B, there are two persons, they have contract between the A and B, the third person is C. Okay, it's not that C is a person who is not related to a particular contract, he cannot sue on a particular contract, and he is a stranger to the contract, he cannot sue on the contract. But there are some exception to the privity of contract. Okay, make corrections here. It is a privity of contract. Okay, there are some exceptions. In the sense nothing but under this, if the person is, even though he is not a party to a contract, he can sue on a particular contract. Okay, privity of contract is nothing but the person who is a third party to a contract, he cannot sue on the contract. But under the exceptions, if he is not a the third party can also sue on the contract. In the following cases, stranger to a contract can also sue on the contract. Okay, we'll see one by one case. First one, where an express or implied trust is created. Where an express or implied trust is created. Where an express or implied trust is created, the beneficiary can enforce his rights under the trust, even though he is not a party to the trust agreement between the settler and the trustee. Express or implied trust is created. Okay, when there is a trust is created between the person, in that case, on the basis of the trust, the third party can also sue on the contract. See, for example, suppose X transfers certain property to Y, to be held by Y in just for the beneficiary Z. Okay, suppose X transfers certain property to Y to be held by Y in trust for the beneficiary Z. Here Z can enforce the agreement, the trust, even though he is a stranger. Here Z is not a party to a contract. The party is X and Y, but Z can also sue on the contract and he enforce the agreement on the basis of the trust to the agreement between the X and Y. Okay, this is something where an express or implied trust is created on the basis of the trust. If the express or implied contract is created on the basis of trust, in that case also the third party can sue on the contract. Okay, next we'll see the second one, where a charge is created on some specific immovable property for the benefit of a third party. Where a charge is created on some specific immovable the property which cannot be moved. Benefit of a third party, the third party can sue upon the contract, though he is a stranger to the contract. Even though he is a stranger to the contract, okay, in that case also, if the charge is created on some specific immovable property for the benefit of third party, if there is a contract between A and B, the contract is mainly on the basis of for the benefit of third party. Okay, if the third party is getting benefit from the contract of A and B means, okay, A and B means, in that case he can sue on a particular contract only if there is a charges on the immovable property. Charges made on the immovable property. See, under this, in this case, okay, there is one case. For example, in the case A, the father of the bridegroom, the person A is the father of the bridegroom, agreed with B, the father of bride. A is the father of bridegroom and the B is the father of bride, that he could pay rupees 500 a month as betel leaf expenses to the bride. Okay, betel leaf expenses is nothing but LADK. Okay, betel leaf expenses to the bride if she married his son. Okay, now here boy's father, okay, he agreed to pay 500 rupees per month to girl if that girl is ready to marry his son. Okay, now the marriage was duly performed. The agreement between the father of the bride and father of bridegroom. Okay, the marriage was duly performed on the basis of the, as per the agreement, the boy's father have to pay 500 per month to the girl. Okay, the father-in-law of the bride also he created charge on the some immovable property for the purpose of paying the betel leaf expenses for the bride. Later, the husband and wife got separated on account of a quarrel, and the father-in-law did not pay the amount as agreed upon. Okay. For a betel leaf expense, later the husband and wife got separated on account of a quarrel, and they separated on account of quarrel, and father-in-law did not pay the amount as agreed upon. So the daughter-in-law sued the father-in-law for the payment of the arrears of the money for betel leaf expenses amounting to rupees 1500. It was held by the court that daughter-in-law was entitled to sue upon the contract, though she was not a party to a contract. She was a stranger to the contract of marriage settlement on the ground that charge had been created on some specific immovable property for the benefit of the third party. Under this scene, okay, the contracted between the father of bridegroom and father of bride, right? But the for the benefit of third party. Who is the third party? Particular daughter-in-law, right? On the where charges and also the charges created on some specific immovable property. Even though the daughter-in-law is not a particular not a party to a contract, but even though she is not a party to a contract, she can sue on the contract, because under this is an exception to the privity of the contract. Even though she is not a party to a contract, she can sue on the contract. Okay, this is about the second exception. Third one, see, where a provision is made in marriage settlement, partition arrangement, or any other family arrangement for the benefit of the third party, where a provision is mainly for the purpose of any matters for the purpose of made for the purpose of the marriage settlement or the partition arrangement or any other family's arrangement. Okay, any specific for the benefit of the third party. Third party means in that case also that can third party who is receiving the benefit, that particular third party can sue on the contract. Okay, particular C, we'll explain with the, we'll see one example. Under this, two brothers on a partition of joint family property agreed to invest in equal shares a certain sum of money for the maintenance of their mother. Okay, under this particular example, see, the two brothers at the time of the partition of the joint family, at the time of the division of the particular lands or property, they agreed to invest equal shares a certain sum of money for the maintenance of their mother. They are the particular brothers are agreed to invest equal amounts, or they agreed to give equal amount of amount to their mother for her expenses. Okay, but later they refused to pay for the maintenance of the mother. But later there is a contract between two brothers. There is a contract between two brothers. As per the contract, they have to give equal money to the mother. Okay, in that under the initial contract there was no mother, right? Only the contract between the brothers. But later they refused to pay for the maintenance of the mother. Who is the third party here? Mother is the third party. Some mother filed a suit against the sons. Now, even though she was a third party, she can sue on the sons, because this is the family arrangement or the marriage partition arrangement, right? This is a partition arrangement. So the third party who is receiving the benefit can sue on a particular contract. Okay, next one, see, where the promisor constitute himself as the agent of a third party, either agent of the third party. In that case also it's possible. See, where the promisor constitutes himself as a agent of the third party either by conduct, means by acknowledgement or by estoppel. Where the promisor constitute himself as an agent of a third party either by conduct or by estoppel, then a binding obligation is incurred by him towards the third party through the third party is stranger to the contract. Third party also can sue on the contract. We'll see one example. Suppose X receives certain sum of money from Y to be paid to Z. X receives certain sum of money from Y to pay for the Z. X admits the receipt of the money to Z. In this case, if X fails to pay the money to Z, X can file a suit to recover the money from the X, who would be regarded as the agent of Y. Here, X is the agent of Y. Okay, as per the agreement between the X and Y, X have to pay the money to Z. If the X fails to pay the money to Z, in this case, who is the third party? Z is the third party. There is agreement between the X and Y. As per the agreement, X is the agent, have to pay money for the Z. If the Z is the third party, if the Z fails to receive the money from the X, means he can file a suit on the X. Okay. Next one, when there is an assignment of rights under a contract in favor of a third party. When there is an assignment of rights under a contract in favor of third party. Okay. When there is an assignment of rights under a contract in favor of third party, either voluntarily or by operation of law, the assignee can enforce the rights and benefits of the contract even though he is not a party to the original contract. When there is an assignment of rights under a contract in favor of a third party. Okay. See, for example, the transferee of a bills of exchange can sue on the contract. Okay, even though he is not a party to the original contract. Similarly, an assignee of an insurance policy has a right to sue on the contract even though he is a stranger to the contract. Okay, even though under the insurance assignee of the insurance policy, even though is not a contract to a particular contract, means he can sue on the contract. So when there is an assignment of rights under a contract in favor of a third party. Next one, where a contract is entered into through an agent. Where a contract entered into an agent. If the contracts, if a particular person enter into a contract with the help of the agent, means, okay, the agent also can sue on the particular contract, or the third party can sue on the contract, right? There is a contract between no direct contract between the particular person and the principal, right? The particular person enter in the contract with the help of the agent, right? So if there is agent, but under this the particular person can sue on a particular contract. Where a contract is entered into through an agent, the principal, through a stranger to the contract, can enforce the contract entered into by his agent, provided the agent acts within the scope of his authority and in the name of the principal. So in the case of agency also, the particular person can sue on a contract even though he is a third party to the contract. Okay, these are the main exceptions under the stranger to the contract. Okay, stranger to contract cannot sue on the contract, but under these exceptions he can sue on the contract. This is about the consideration under the consideration, essentials, no consideration, no contract, and privity of contract or stranger to the contract. Stranger to contract cannot sue, but under the following exceptions he can sue on a contract. Okay, we'll see the next topic and next class. Thank you.